Today, I will be predicting the 49ers 2024 record for the regular season. Hey man, it's Jay and I'm back with another one. You already know what it is. Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be talking about the 49ers record today. So without further ado, man, go ahead and give this video a like, comment, and go ahead and subscribe for me, man. Join us on this journey to coming up in life. Let's get it, man. Week number 1, we have a very highly anticipated game, and that is the 49ers are going to be hosting the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. Woo-wee! This is how we're starting off the year, man. Ooh, this is going to be magical. This is going to be amazing, astronomical, man. This is going to be hype, okay? You obviously have the team who is trying to redeem themselves and the 49ers for losing the Super Bowl in overtime for, you know, complications of not knowing the rules, bad play, you know what I'm saying, being soft on deep, multiple things here that the 49ers have to redeem and, you know, get back to glory. And then you have the New York Jets, a team that was literally their whole season went like this in 4 plays, okay? Last season in week 1, okay? So this will be a anniversary almost for A-Rod's Achilles tear, right? Okay, so we're going to have finally a Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets game. Finally. And man, oh man, do they have the talent on this team to give us some issues on defense and on offense, right? Okay, now you obviously have your boy A-Rod out there that's going to be going nutty and be going crazy. Hopefully our defense can contain that, which I think we will be able to. But he definitely has a lot of weapons to distribute the ball to and really hand the ball off to and really see, you know, what they're going to do. And then on defensive side of the ball, now we've already seen that Sauce Gardner has had a little bit of back and forth with Charvarius Ward. Now, Sauce has came out and said, hey, man, y'all are blowing this out of proportion. Nothing like that is even real. You know, he just took what I said the wrong way. Okay? Now, I just think that's, you know what I'm saying, a real dude talking to a real dude. And the first real dude was like, hey, man, my fault. You feel me? That's all it is. But, you know, I'm sorry, not every game will get this much of a deep dive. But it's the first one, so I just wanted to let you guys know we're going to set this season off right with a W, man. You already see it right here. We're going to have a dub to kick off this year. All right. We're just going to go ahead and slide into week 2 here, man. And now in week 2, we have the Minnesota Vikings. All righty. What are we going to do with the Minnesota Vikings in week 2, man? I mean, obviously they have a rookie quarterback who is supposed to take over, you know, during training camp, and hopefully that he does for their sake, you know, and J.J. McCarthy, right? They obviously have the best receiver in the NFL right now, and J.J. Justin Jefferson, right? You know, I mean, they have decent, you know, they also just got your boy Turner in the draft to replace Danielle Hunter. So definitely there, I'm very high on Dallas Turner. So, you know, this should be a pretty good game here. But overall, I feel like, you know, we are going to, hey, I'm just being real. I feel like we're going to dog walk them, okay? I'm just being honest here. I know that they beat us last year, and I get that with the Jordan Addison catch and all of that, blah, blah, blah. Yes, definitely there. But nonetheless, I see us, dog walking them. This might be a 14 to 21 point game, you know, at one point in the game in our favor. Now, you know how it is in that fourth quarter. Maybe we ease up off as long as we come out with the dub there. So we will be starting off the year 2-0. We have week 3, man. You already know we're going to have a divisional game and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, you already know what they say about LA, man. You already know that that's our second home. I mean, if you don't know, we have won there a lot over the past few years. I mean, look, we have won there a lot, okay? We have owned them the past few years, if I'm just being real. Except for whenever, obviously, the last game of the season last year. And then whenever it mattered in 2021 to go to the Super Bowl, they ended up beating us. Other than those 2 losses that we have had to them, over the last, like 6 or 7 years now, we have dominated them, and that goes back to whenever they were, eating on defense, even whenever they were a Super Bowl contending team, right? And they are definitely a playoff, contending team that, who knows, with the right, situation, they can make a push deep in the postseason. But I don't know, they might even be third in our division this year, if I'm being real. But as you can tell by the way that I'm talking about them, Puka is gonna, have a better, another year of experience. Cooper Kupp, they say that he's 100% now, and definitely by week 3, we will be able to see that in the first 2 games of the season. So I can see here a world where they make it a game, but overall, I got the 49ers taking this dub, and we're starting the season off 3-0, man. Yes, sir. And then we're gonna go back home and play if I'm just being honest, maybe the weakest team that we're gonna face this year in week number 4, and that is the New England Patriots, okay? The Patriots don't really have a lot to, drool over, if I'm being real here. I mean, obviously, they have Drake May, and Drake May should definitely be the starting quarterback by week 4, a month into this season, right? But he doesn't really have any help, and we saw last season with Bryce Young that a great quarterback, especially a young, great quarterback, especially in his rookie season, he needs help around him, man. He just does. He is still a great talent, but at the end of the day, he's going to need pieces. And that's what every quarterback needs the receivers. Every quarterback needs their running back. Every quarterback needs their O-line and their defense, So what I'm saying here is that he is going to need a lot over there in New England, and I just don't think that they have that yet. So I see us cakewalking them more so than the Vikings. Then we have in week 5 of this NFL regular season, we're going to be playing the Arizona Cardinals, okay? And I mean, I understand here that they got, your boy, Mr. Hollywood. They got, Mr. Lineage, Mr. what some people are saying, nepotism himself. I don't believe that. But they did just grab Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And, he's a dog definitely out there. Respectively, he is an animal out there, right? And then they also got a D lineman that we should definitely be worried about as well. But I don't think that moves the needle enough there, if I'm just being honest. I get it. Kyler wasn't really Kyler last year and everything that was happening. Sure. But, Kyler really hasn't had too much success as far as winning games and going deep into the postseason, since he got drafted back in 2019, right? So it's kind of like an end there. We definitely had our problems with him. A few years ago, we played them, I want to say on Halloween night, and we definitely had a few, complications there. And I think later on in that season, we played them again, and it was like a midday game, and Kyler was running up the field on us, right? So what I'm saying here is that they're definitely going to make it a game, but because, they're a divisional opponent and they know us, and, they're going to have a whole month of film to really look at on us. So I can definitely see where, people have them beating us and as a upset this year, as a dog. I can definitely see that. But I think that we're going to dog walk them again. And we're going to start this season off 5-0, man. And I don't think that I'm just being very biased because of the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? Because I also think there are multiple other teams that will start off this season 5-0. In the next game we have that following week 6, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Another divisional game, right? In the first 6 weeks, we're going to play our 3 divisional games, or, the first half of our divisional games, I should say, right? And definitely they have always given us a problem, right? I mean, you can date all the way back. I mean, they've always given us a problem. Even if they had freaking Sean Alexander, right? I mean, they've always given us a problem. Even if we've beaten them like last year, we're gonna be playing them on Prime this year, right? Like we did last year, again, And hey, man, or is that 2 years ago? I forget. But all I'm saying here, yeah, that was two years ago. I'm sorry. But all I can say here is that this team is a team I'm worried about. And I can definitely see us, splitting the series 1-1 with them this year. But overall, in this first game, I definitely feel like we're going to take it and we're going to start the season off 6-0, right? And now it's definitely a lot deeper than, everything. But last time we played them, they are definitely a pass. Their offense is more so of a passing offense, right? Which are a lot of offenses in today's NFL, right? But we clamped them up last year. I mean, if I'm being real, we definitely clamped them up. And I genuinely feel like there really isn't much that they could even do to us, that would be different than their scheme of last season or just years past in general. But like I said, they have definitely given us problems before. Now, week number 7, okay? We have a Super Bowl rematch, a heavy hitter, a prime time. You already know what it is, man. October 20th, you feel me? We will be facing the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Now, Patty Mahomes himself, you know what I'm saying? And by then, we will be able to see if, Worthy was, an exceptional pick for them, or will he just be another Mecole Hardman? We definitely don't know there, right? I hope he will be, he will have a similar role to them, for them, like a Tyreek Hill. Not saying that he will be Tyreek, definitely I don't want to put those high of expectations on him. But what I'm saying is that he could definitely, be out here and have a Tyreek Hill-like role. But I could also see him having a Mecole Hardman type role as well, especially in his rookie season here, right? But, they definitely need receivers out there. So who knows? He might, be their Rashid Rice. I don't really know here. I don't know. But let's talk about it, okay? They gave us problems. They've always given us problems, right? I mean, every time that we play them, whether it's in the regular season, whenever we had just traded for McCaffrey a few years ago, or, in the Super Bowl the past 2 times we played them in 19 and this past February, right? I mean, so there are multiple times here where they've given us problems, but it's always been primetime TV. Always, always, always. Whether it's Mahomes torching us, whether it's us running it all, down their throat, whatever it is, man, we definitely always have great primetime games here. And I'm very shaky. I went back and forth on this one a few times where it could be a win, it could be a loss. I don't think it'll be a tie, but I have come to my final, decision here, and that decided that this will be our first loss of the season. And that hurts to say because we just lost to them in the Super Bowl. So our last 2 losses will be to Patrick Mahomes. So that definitely stings a little bit there. But nonetheless, I definitely think that, his quarterback play is just so superb. It doesn't matter what defense you throw at him, that he will dominate it if his receivers are capable enough of following directions. That's it. They don't have to, create 8 yards of separation, nothing like that. They can have a half yard of separation, shoot a fourth of a yard of separation. You know what I'm saying? They follow directions by running the correct route and catching a football. It doesn't even have to be much run after the catch. That's how good Mahomes is here, right? I mean, so, and also let's not sit here and deny that they have probably the hardest runner in the NFL in their backfield in Isaiah Pacheco, right? They have the best or second best tight end in the NFL and Travis Kelce here, right? So, this is why I genuinely believe that, I'm not saying that there'll be too much for us, but after, starting the season off 6-0, I can definitely see us getting complacent and needing to get slapped in the face. In week 8, man, 2 months into this season, a week before our bye week here, we have the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm joking. But, for real, right? In my short, whenever I was reacting to our schedule drop, I mentioned it in there, but I will mention it again. I was at the game last season whenever we smacked them 42-10, right? Or whatever the final score ended up being there, right? It was crazily nutty. It was insane. That was a crazy great game. McCaffrey actually fumbled one time in that game, which was like, what the heck? He doesn't do that. But nonetheless, there he definitely did. Their one touchdown was the Turpin over the top. You know what I'm saying? I was there for all of that, man. It was great to, pick on the Cowboys fans. It was great to sit amongst the 49er fans. And what I'm saying here is that we're gonna beat them again. That's all I'm saying here. I genuinely think that they literally didn't get much better at all, this year. If they did a little bit, cool there. Some people would say that they got worse losing Tony Pollard and getting Zeke back. So what you did was y'all blamed Zeke, said Pollard's our guy, he's the better guy, right? Then y'all was like, oh nah, Pollard tripping, he's not a number one back. Sorry. Now y'all let him go. And then you bring Zeke back. The dude who it was originally his fault while y'all were losing, that doesn't really make sense there to me, right? It definitely doesn't. But hey, man, I'm not Jerry Jones. Also, Dak Prescott, I've never been a fan of Dak. I mean, you can tell in videos, I talked about the Cowboys before. Dak does not impress me at all. I get he has a very good completion percentage. Definitely there. He has always had a great target to throw it to, whether it was Jason Witten, whether it was Amari Cooper, you know what I'm saying? Now and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, even Michael Gallup. I mean, there's definitely, he's always had a guy to be able to throw it to who he can rely on, if I'm being real here. And I think that's why his numbers look a little inflated and they're not really where I truly believe they should be at, right? And, I don't want to take anything away from Dak. You can't convince me Dak is a top 5 quarterback. You can't. He might be top 10. I have to go back and really look into it. But, I don't know there. All I'm saying here, though, is that I feel like we're going to mollywop them again, just like we did before. I know Michael Parsons is going to get mad about it again, yada, yada, yada. And, yeah, man, I just feel like we're going to walk them, especially after coming off of an L to KC like that. Week 9, bye week. Yes, sir. Get healthy. Week number 10, coming off of a bye week. We're going to hopefully be healthy, be fresh, and be good to go. And we're going to be playing a Baker Mayfield-led team, which if you heard my reaction, I'm not tripping on. We, beat up on them last season. And I feel like they, once again, another team that didn't get, levels and levels and levels better, right? So they may have gotten marginally better here, but I just don't see a world where they've gotten so much better to where they could compete with a team like us. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just being real here, yeah, my tooting our horn a little bit. Yes, absolutely. But, I don't care. I think that we're going to definitely come out here and eat and dominate. And we're going to get back on our win streak, after losing to the Chiefs. That would have been 3 weeks ago now. So I can see us coming out here and smacking up on Baker. Week 11 now. We're getting through this, man. We're getting through it. And we have the Seattle Seahawks again. And this will wrap up our series playing them, right? This year. Unless we see them in the playoffs, which we sometimes do there, right? Definitely. And 19, y'all remember the last game of the season, that boy Dre Greenlaw came. Anyway, nonetheless there. I'm just saying that we're going to see them again. And like I said earlier in this video, I can definitely see a world where we split with them. And this is where I have us taking our second loss here. And all the reasons that I said that we will beat them can also be the reasons why they beat us. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we can strap up DK and Tyler, but also DK, I can see DK going for 110 and Tyler going for 75, and Tyler got 2 Yetis. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely see that going on there as well. And I'm just going to come out here and say right now, we will split this series with them, and we will be taking our second loss of the season, going 8-2. Week 12 on this list, man, we're going to be having a rematch with a playoff foe from last season, and that is the Green Bay Packers, man. Yes, sir. You already know. Packer Tech, the cheeseheads. Okay, now, I'm just going to go out here and rip the Band-Aid off. Y'all are not as good as you think. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Were y'all a fluke? No. Far from being a fluke, definitely. But I can definitely see a world where y'all are definitely not as good, especially not as good as the playoffs made y'all assume that y'all would be this year, right? Jordan Love, I can see him taking the next step. I can also see, having Josh Jacobs and having a new face back there being cool. But me personally, I would have kept your boy, I would have kept Aaron Jones, but I understand y'all wanted to get some new faces back there for what maybe y'all think he's better than Aaron. I don't know here, right? Okay. But, you know, your receivers are still your receivers, you know. You know what I'm saying there? Your defense is getting better and getting better. You know, there are reports that Jair has been, you know, at practice 2 or 3 weeks early than what he is even supposed to have been there. He's getting there mad early and leaving mad late. So he's locked in. He's trying to win him a bowl. But I think his bowl days were behind him. And he's just never going to get back to there. Unless he leaves. Or unless y'all make a splash trade this year. Or make a, you know, some offseason move next year. But right here, I have us beating Green Bay again. Not in the same fashion as last time. But in a more 49ers San Francisco like, you know, type deal here. Where we run, get up early. And, you know, lean on our defense to win us that game. 13, man, we're flying through this. We have the Buffalo Bills. Now, by this point in the season, we will probably know who Buffalo is here. But this being, you know, the middle of May, I think that we will be seeing a very, very, very rapid, extreme decline in the Buffalo Bills because of the people who they let go during the offseason, you know, for various reasons, whether it was, you know, to save money here, where they thought this guy wasn't good enough anymore, shoot, trading Steph Diggs away, you know, letting, 3 receivers go, you know. So I can definitely see a world where you guys are nowhere near what y'all have in the past 4 years. You know, maybe longer than that, but I would say 4 years, right? I mean, I'm just calling a spade here. I get it. Everybody's in love with Keon Coleman, definitely. And he looks like he's going to be straight. His personality is definitely very marketable there. But he has to produce. I mean, he just does. He has to produce. And people are saying, oh, he's going to be a dog. And he might be a dog. There's been a lot of dogs drafted in the second round, right? So at the receiver position. So all I'm saying here is that, you know, he can definitely be okay there. And he can be good. But he will not. In his rookie year, he will not fill the void of Diggs and losing Gabe. I'm just being real there. But I said that they are going to have a decline. I see us running through their defense. And then I also see their offense not being able to move on our defense. And us getting another W here. Next on this list, man, we flying through this thing, man. Yes, sir. And we have a team who people are very excited about, but it is a year too early for, and that is the Chicago Bears, man. I know, I understand. They got Keenan out there. They got DJ out there, definitely. So they have people who we know produce in the NFL. But they also have Rome and they got your boy Caleb, right? And Caleb's going to be a rookie, even if he is this astronomical guy, he is still going to be a rookie, whether we like to say it like that or not say it like that, right? And in that case there, I just think it is a year too early for them to be a real NFC contender, right? Maybe they will be next year, definitely. I can see that world being there. But I do not see a world where they're contending for anything serious. Maybe they shock everyone in their second place in their division or something like that. But I don't think, you know, they're going to be some crazy behind team here or anything like that. And that's why I have us getting another W here, getting us to 11-2, if you've been keeping up. And then we're going to keep on. We're going to go straight into the next week where we play another divisional game, and that is with the LA Rams. And like I said earlier, we have dominated them, and they had a big old hole. And I get it, they got, you know, a D lineman definitely there. But they have a big hole and missing Aaron Donald. He definitely took doubles like it was, you know, lunch. I mean, we've seen them take triples and quadruple teams, literally, where it takes 4 people to block this 1 5'9", 5'10" guy, right? But he's gone, you know. Kind of bittersweet there. I've already talked about that in the video before, that I love his play, but he was in my division, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, you know, like I said earlier as well, we have dominated them for years and years now, and I don't think that will stop. It'll probably end up being a good game there, but we're going to come out with the W, getting us to 12-2. Next on this list, man, we're flying through this, man. Week 16, man. Yes, sir. Straight flying through this thing. Alrighty, and we have our last trip to Florida of the season. Our second trip, because we already went to Tampa and whooped up on them. Now we have to go all the way south and go to Miami. Go to Hard Rock Stadium. Okay? Now, woo, that's going to be a game. These next 2 weeks are going to be crazy. This week and then the next week, I should say, right, are going to be insane for the Niners. Probably, if they're not already live, I'm pretty sure one of them's prime time. Maybe not both, but maybe both are. And if they both are, that makes sense there. But if only one is, it'll probably get flexed, if I'm being real. But nonetheless here, man, what a game. I mean, what a game. I mean, I just had a video on how I think OBJ will affect that offense and how just him, even if he's just a decoy, even if he can't do anything, right? I genuinely feel like he will produce. I mean, he's going to do way better than what he did last year. I genuinely feel like that because he has two guys out there that are going to be a option in the pass game before him, right? So we're going to still see get doubled. We're going to still see games or plays, formations or schemes on defense where Waddle is getting doubled, which I see a lot of single coverage on OB this year. Unless, he's getting chipped or something down, in the first 5 yards by a outside backer or maybe a middle backer if he's coming across the field, right? But I see a lot of one-on-ones with him in a slot corner, which is typically, not always, typically a team's third best corner or fourth best corner, right, out there, or just DB in general, And I don't know, man. I see a world where, how the Dolphins are at the end of the year every single year, right? I get it where they're going to be home, so, it should still be a little warm by then. But nonetheless, they tend to fold at the end of the year, and we tend to turn things up, right? So I see us catching another W here and whooping up on them, okay? But that next week, we play the Detroit Lions, and woo-wee. Let me tell y'all something. Oh my goodness. Like I said, these 2 weeks are gonna be crazy, man. And I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna just come out and say it. I have us losing this game. Yeah, we beat them last year, and I feel like they have that salty taste in their mouth where they feel like they shouldn't have lost that game, especially with that Ayuk, fumbly catch joint, So I can definitely see a world there, but they're like, bro, let's step on their neck and prove to the world that we're them boys to be reckoned with this year, especially after Goff just got that massive deal. Finally on this, regular season to put a bow on things and enter the playoffs, we will be having a divisional game, which I feel like we've had the past like 2 or 3 years, right, at the end of the season now. But we will be playing the Arizona Cardinals, and maybe a meaningful game or maybe a super meaningless game, right? If we are, a competent team or we're locked in at a specific spot or a specific matchup or whatever the case is, we want to avoid something, right? I can see us, I'm just going to go out here and say, if we're playing all of our starters and they're playing all of their starters, I see us winning this game easily. I'm talking about smacking up on them like it's nothing and taking our boys out the whole fourth and resting them for the playoffs, right? I can definitely see that. But then I can also see like what happened this year at the end of the season, right? When we played the Rams and our guys playing a few snaps there, getting pulled out and letting the backups just run the game, right? And hey, if we lose, we lose. And it is what it is, especially if we're locked in at a spot, right? And, I just think that this will be a great season for the 49ers again, a redemption season again. I feel like I've been saying that in the past like 8 years in a row now, right? Really since 2020, because 19 we went to the Super Bowl and lost it, right? So ever since then, I feel like it's been a redemption tour every single year. But nonetheless, we'll be fine, either way. So I can see us being a 13 or 14 win team here, with 3 or 4 losses. And hey, man, I feel like that'll be a great year for us, man. I mean, a phenomenal year, especially if our wins are spread out. Other than last year, how we went on a 3-game losing streak. But I also want to keep in mind here, I can see a world where something like that happens again, where we get very complacent. That's why I'm glad that we played the Cowboys and the Chiefs in like the middle to like early-ish, side of the year there, simply because so we don't get complacent like we did last year, man. And yeah, I really feel like the Niners are gonna take off this year and we're gonna finally win that freaking bowl, man. Finally. Anyway, man, with all that being said, you already know what it is, man. This video is coming to an end. And yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. So like I said at the beginning of the video, please go ahead and give me a like. Go ahead and comment. You might as well go ahead and smack that subscribe button and turn on them post notices while you at it, my boy, my girl. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We out here trying to run this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on TikTok. I just started my little TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Whoop-de-whoop. And we out of here, man. Love.